Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Week 5 Franklin County Football Preview. My name is Caden Poundersman, sports editor at the Franklin Free Press. Um, as always, I'm going to go through each of the 6 football programs, what they're doing this week, and some of the matchups we've got going on. Just to let you know, I know these past few have been going like 15 or 16 minutes. I'm going to try to cut that way down this week and go through these a lot faster than I usually do. I don't want to hear myself speak, so I doubt you do either. So without further ado, we're just going to go ahead and get started and get through these as fast as we can, okay? So start with Belgrade. And I've added scores and the schedule up the top and the bottom, for you guys to make it a little bit easier. Okay, hope you like that. Let's start with Belgrade. Belgrade is coming off a 47-13 loss at home to Tanner. Tanner went into that game, hadn't scored a touchdown. Well, they scored one touchdown, I believe, all year. They were 0-4. They get a win against Belgrade. That pushes Belgrade to 2-2 on the year. Belgrade is going to be hosting Cherokee. Cherokee's 3-2 this week, and they're coming off a big win over previously undefeated Vina. That game was 48-8 in Cherokee's favor. Cherokee is a fast or athletic, and that's how they got around Vina last week. Beat them 48-8. Expect the same thing as Belgrade. Belgrade's 2-2. This is gonna be their last home game, their last game before they go 3 weeks off. They only play 7 varsity games this year, so after this game, it's gonna be 3 weeks off for Belgrade. I expect the Cherokee win in this game, but who knows? Belgrade has surprised us already once before. Maybe they pull it out where Vina couldn't. All right, that means we're heading on to Phil Campbell. Phil Campbell is coming off a 43-28 region loss at home to Winfield. Phil Campbell's 1-3, 1-2 in the region now. This week they're playing on the road at 1A Hackleburg. Hackleburg's 4-0, 3-0 in their region. Now this is Phil Campbell's longest running rivalry. The Phil Campbell and Hackleburg have played every year since 1949. Hackleburg leads the series 49, 38, and 1, but Phil Campbell has won the last 5 matchups against them. So last year the Bobcats squeaked it out. They won 22-20. Can they do it again this year? Obviously, head coach Jacob Hamilton would love to get a win against a rival and give them some momentum as they go into region play next week against Midfield. That's going to be a game on the road. So, big rivalry game for Phil Campbell this week, and a big game where they can maybe get back to winning ways before they get back to region play again next week. Next up is Red Bay. Red Bay's had a tough, brutal year. They are heading into this game with their worst start since 1997. That was the first year for former head coach Dale Jeffries. It was the last year the Tigers were in Class 3A before they dropped down to 2A. This week, the 0-4 Tigers are traveling across the border to Belmont. Belmont's 3-0. This will be going to be the 59th meeting between Red Bay and Belmont. The Tigers hold the series advantage 35-22-1, and they've won the last 2, but just kind of barely scraped by. Won 14-6 last year, 16-0 in 2022. So we'll see if Red Bay can finally get one in the win column this week against, say, a rival in Belmont. Just a tough year, a tough start for a young Red Bay team, but we'll see if they can get it done against the rivals this week across the border in Mississippi. All right, Russellville. This is Russellville's bye week. They're the only team this week that's off. They took care of business on homecoming against Ardmore. Beat the Tigers 38-7. Junior running back Cameron Finney, I believe, finished with 341 yards rushing, had 2 touchdowns. But surprisingly, didn't get his 2 touchdowns until the second half. It's the first time this year that Russell has had. The Cameron Finney has not scored a first half touchdown. Freshman quarterback Wick Goodwin got one through the air and with his legs in the first half. He hit Javen Post for a 10-yard touchdown in the first quarter. Ran for his second touchdown of the night in the second quarter. Russell went into halftime 17 up. Finished out the game 138-7. No problem. I thought it was going to be a little bit tougher game for Russell against Ardmore, who, if you look at the numbers, thought they might be a little bit better, but no problem for Russell. they head into this bye week. That gives them 2 weeks to prepare for number 5 Fairview. It's going to be the toughest game of the year for Russellville. Without a doubt, this will be, unless something surprising happens this week with Fairview, next week will be the de facto Region 7 championship game between Russellville and Fairview, who are both undefeated in the region. That game's going to be at Russellville, so Russellville will have home field advantage for that one. But it's going to be an extremely tough game for Russellville against a really good Fairview team. Okay, so next up is Tharptown, and Tharptown and Viner are actually playing each other. So the last two teams, we can just roll into one, make it a little bit faster. All right, Tharptown, like Red Bay, is having a really tough year. 0-4 to start the season. They got trounced, just to be honest, 68-0 on the road, but it was against, a top 10 team in Decatur Heritage. Not really surprised that Decatur Heritage won that game. They're a really good squad. Not really much you can say about Tharptown. Obviously, they would love to get a win this week against Vina and get get into the win column. But Vina, even though they are coming off a 48-8 defeat against Cherokee that was on the road. Cherokee is a very fast, very athletic team. This game between Vina and Tharptown is going to be a clash of similar styles. Tharptown runs the wing tee, traditional wing tee. Vina's definitely going to want to establish the run game as it has all year long. On the Alabama High School Football Historical Society website, ahsfhs.org, they each give kind of like a spread and who they think is going to win each week. Vina's a 17-point favorite in this game. Kind of like them by more than that. I think they'll take care of business against Tharptown, but you never know what can happen in football under the Friday Night Lights. Next week, Tharptown is going to travel to Tanner to continue region play. Obviously, this is a non-region game with Tharptown being in 2A and Vina in 1A, but it is a good Franklin County matchup. Tharptown traveling to Tanner, who beat Belgreen last week, and then Vina is going to continue region play next week. They'll play against Hackleburg, who is, like I said earlier, playing Phil Campbell. So a lot of teams that are kind of like 1 degree of separation from each other. A little bit interesting, but we'll see if Tharptown can get a win, or will Vina rebound from that win. They suffered their first loss of the season against Cherokee last week. Can they get back to winning ways, bounce back, and move to 4-1 after this game? All right. So that's been the Week 5 football preview from me, Caden Pounders. We do it every week, and I hope you'll join us next week. And I hope you enjoy your Friday football this week. All right. Talk to you later.